Welcome back. Thank you for staying with the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Deputy Political Leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, is calling out the UWP administration for what he describes as dishonesty with regards to the St. Jude project. This comes in response to a Facebook post by Prime Minister Allen Chastanet stating that the new facility will house a medical school. Jacques Wooding tells us more.
In Prime Minister Allen Chastanet's most recent updates on the work at the St. Jude Hospital site, he noted that the project is progressing. However, after detailing the projection for a 90-bed Level 4 facility, he announced that his administration is currently in negotiations with several institutions to allow for the establishment of a medical university to be housed in newly constructed buildings on the site, which, post-construction, were deemed below standard to house a hospital. SLP spokesman Ernest Hilaire says he was baffled by this announcement as he cannot fathom why funding and resources allocated to the St. Jude project would be injected into construction efforts before blueprints were deemed up to standard. He claims the explanation provided by Prime Minister Allen Chastanet is a shroud meant to deter members of the public from questioning the government's deliberate decision to prolong the construction of the facility to make way for the inclusion of a medical university.
How do you promise people you'll finish the hospital, but your first action is to stop the works, and you stopped it for 3.5 years? How are you going to finish it when you've stopped it for 3.5 years? We did not know why. Now we find out the reason why they had stopped it for 3.5 years is when they came in, they promised it to somebody to be used as a medical school.
He underscores, though supportive of educational developments, he does not support the prolonged absence of a proper medical facility in the south.
There were technical people out there, learned people who were saying, just the one wing has more space than St. Jude Hospital now. The Taiwan is low and there's still money available. Take it and finish that wing and move people out of St. Jude, of the stadium. You can do all your investigations, all your assessments, but make sure that people move into the wing. But you don't do it for 3.5 years. And you're not telling anybody why you're not doing it. And now we're finding out you're doing it because you had promised somebody they would get the hospital for a medical school.
Hilaire says his concerns for the safety of hospital patients in the temporary facility have been further heightened by recent reports of a person being injured by an unsecured piece of machinery.
I mean, how can you not be sensitive to the fact that there are people who are literally dying because of the conditions of the hospital? How can you not be sensitive? Why would you stop the works of 3.5 years? The latest incident where the reports are that somebody died when a piece of equipment fell on the person is just more damning of the indifference of this government. If you just sit back and you think of people are dying because when they are ill and they go to the hospital, the conditions are so terrible, they die.
He says as he awaits the conclusion of PM's negotiations, he hopes that the operations and governing body of the impending medical school are transparent and without political bias or affiliation. For Hot 7 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
The Press Relations Officer of the St. Lucia Basketball Federation is calling for the growing issue of chastising St. Lucians mourning the death of Kobe Bryant to stop. Kendall Scaddy Eugene says while he understands that said individuals might not follow the sport and understand the magnitude of the death, he thinks people should respect the rights of others who wish to express their sadness in their own way.
Everyone has a right to their own opinion. That's how I feel. For a majority of us who are angry about individuals and expressing, sadness at the passing of a legend, an NBA legend, a basketball legend, an individual that many of our basketballers aspire to be like, somebody that you will hear them say, I want to be like Kobe, all right? It is sad, it is unfortunate, but I can understand why, because probably you do not know of the individual, you do not follow the sport of basketball, or maybe some people just want to say their stuff just for saying its sake, for the likes, for the dislikes, for the attention, who knows. I just say let them be.
Eugene says there is a large basketball following and many basketball players in St. Lucia, and it should therefore not be odd that they are reacting to the death of one of the greats in the game. He says St. Lucian youth have to be free to dream that they too can achieve the heights of such great athletes. Health authorities in Jamaica have sought to assure Jamaicans that there is no case of the deadly new coronavirus at the University Hospital of the West Indies. There had been reports that the hospital's accident and emergency department was on partial shutdown as personnel treated a suspected case of the coronavirus that has left more than 130 people dead in China. However, at a press conference on Tuesday afternoon, Jamaica's Health Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, said there was no truth to the claim that there was such a case. Medical Chief of Staff at the University Hospital of the West Indies, Dr. Carl Bruce, further explained that a patient who recently traveled to China and had flu symptoms was transferred to the hospital from another hospital, and that an assessment of the individual was done, and out of an abundance of caution, the checks revealed that there was no coronavirus. However, he said the patient who returned to Jamaica on the 14th of January did not exhibit symptoms of the virus, which includes a fever exceeding 30 degrees Celsius. Minister Guy Joseph and former Minister Dr. Keith Mandesi faced off over the airwaves on Tuesday night. Minister Joseph appeared as a guest on Keeping It Real with Norbert Williams. As he defended the government's track record on St. Jude, he was challenged by Dr. Keith Mandesi, who once served as health minister under a former UWP administration. Dr. Mandesi asked him to tell the public about the health policy before and after the St. Jude fire.
Economic Development Minister Guy Joseph was eager to hear from members of the public when the phone lines opened up during the Tuesday night live Keeping It Real talk show. His first caller was a familiar voice, that of his former colleague, now turned political foe, former health minister under a previous UWP administration. Dr. Keith Mandesi challenged the minister to detail the administration's health policy pre and post the St. Jude fire.
I want to speak to the minister and I want to address certain things. I want him to tell the people of St. Lucia what was the health policy before the St. Jude's fire and after the St. Jude's fire for the people of St. Lucia to understand what was the policy.
In response, Minister Guy Joseph launched a scathing attack on the former minister, calling him a failure.
Saying failed politicians who don't know what they believe in or what they stand for. That is a former minister of health, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Like
he is a failure. He could not deliver on anything.
And then it was on to the next caller.
oh, we have another call, Mr. Minister. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yes, I want to keep it real.
Did you just call a while ago?
Listen,
I have told you before
regardless of
that
what he's saying, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Go ahead, caller. Go. You're in all the
Give
time.
him a
Go
minute
ahead.
to answer. And I said, you keep blocking me off.
Go ahead, caller.
I
We
like
don't need to
answer.
go
Listen,
through that.
I want to ask him, does he know the government's policy for the South? For the South, before the fire and after the fire. Let us start like that. I'm starting now.
Caller, okay, thank you for calling.
Pekong and mudslinging is not uncommon in the context of St. Lucian politics, and Minister Guy Joseph is no stranger to accusations of hitting below the belt, but he maintains that it is his detractors who always launch the first attack. In response to Dr. Mandesi the second time around, Minister Joseph accused him of once reneging on his responsibility as health minister to pursue other endeavors.
Thank you for
Let me
calling.
just say something about the caller, Dr. Mandesi. You want to ask me about the policy of health. I want to ask him, does he remember the Christmas time when St. Jude was flooded at the George Odlum Stadium? He was Minister of Health. I was Minister for Communications and Works. We both ended up at St. Jude Hospital. As the Minister of Health, you know when he got there what he did? He said to me, you the Minister of Communications and Works, take care of the problem. And he left. I know where he went to, but I will choose on this program not to say where he went to and who he went with.
Dr. Mandesi has been very critical of the current UWP administration's performance on healthcare, and there has been much public outcry about the current healthcare system. According to Dr. Mandesi, gains made during his tenure as health minister were not consolidated on to ensure the progress of the health sector for all. ITEL BPO, in partnership with Invest St. Lucia, is all set to commence operations in the south of the island as CEO of Invest St. Lucia, Roderick Cherry, announced the selection of a site for the 20,000 square feet facility in the Vieux-Fort Free Zone. With a projection to employ thousands throughout its several stages, Minister for Commerce Bradley Felix says this is one of many upcoming developments set for enterprise development in the south of the island.
Founded in 2012 in Montego Bay, Jamaica, ITEL BPO is now a global business and the region's largest homegrown business outsourcer. Now partnering with Invest St. Lucia, a memorandum of understanding was signed today which will officially commence joint work to establishing a BPO center in St. Lucia. This is a strategic move for ITEL BPO and aims to expand its geographical footprint as well as ultimately diversifying its workforce, making use of the clear and easy-to-understand accent of the St. Lucian people. According to Invest St. Lucia CEO Roderick Cherry, a site has deliberately been identified in the south of the island, where unemployment levels are greatest, and by April 1st, the BPO will open its doors with a contingent of 150 St. Lucians initially employed.
It is with great enthusiasm that Invest St. Lucia is now retrofitting a 20,000 square feet factory shell located in the Heronora Free Zone, which is set to open on April 1st, 2020. This new state-of-the-art BPO facility will house initially 150 employees in the global services sector with aggressive growth plans by ITEL BPO. Yes, that's new jobs for young St. Lucians in the south of St. Lucia who need a path to building a future, ladies and gentlemen.
Reminiscing on the days when Vieux-Fort was the epicenter for business in St. Lucia, Commerce Minister Bradley Felix says as he also stands as a parliamentary representative for a southern constituency, it is a proud day to see such a grand enterprise development in the south.
As a government and as a Minister for Commerce, Industry, Investment, Enterprise Development and Consumer Affairs, and also because I happen to be a parliamentary representative for a community in the south, I am gladdened at what the BPO and KPO industries could mean for the future of national development on our island.
Known for nurturing and engaging company culture and designing eye-catching spaces with team comfort in mind, ITEL BPO said it will bring its own unique culture and style to St. Lucia, along with a healthy and proactive approach to community outreach. Port 7 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more coming up after the break.